What's going on, everybody? It's Monday. So we've done a little bit of different stuff. Um, we're getting stuff going on. We've been doing some behind the scenes stuff. So you'll start seeing some new things here and there. Guys, stop. She like, what? Hi. Anyway, so yeah, once Rob hops on there, we'll get going and start talking about some of the good stuff that's going on. Do not jump. Malice, you need to back up, guy. Do not. So she jumps. Oh boy. Anyway, but yeah, we. Hello. Do not knock that stuff over. Interesting. Always a fun time over here.
All right.
Hey,
What's up,
what's going
man?
on? No, nothing. Just hanging out.
Okay. How do I sound?
Um, a little bit. I guess a little bit better than normal.
I'll take slightly better. I'll take that.
Yeah, I can dig it. You look like you're getting ready to fly a plane or something.
Oh, it's part of my persona. I'm trying to get on Top Gun 2.
Oh, well, they already filmed
And
it, so you're screwed.
it's too late?
Yeah.
No, but no one even told me. And I got the headset on.
Yeah. Well, you're late. You're gonna be like Goose. You're not gonna be in this one.
Oh, it's too soon. It's still too soon for that stuff.
What are you talking about? It's been like 30 years.
Hey, doesn't matter how many years it is. Every time I put that movie on, I have to re-experience the emotional hurt of losing Goose. Just saying.
Sorry. Oh man. No. So the cats have snuck in here, and now they're all walking around. So you might see a random. You might see a random cat or a shadow.
Yeah, well, I guess that's been pretty normal. No.
See?
Yeah,
Now,
Geo gets it. Yeah, thanks, Geo. You like that's it.
you
Got a
back up.
bogey bearing 010, 500 knots.
Malice, do
Hey,
you move?
make sure you guys, hit one of those little emoji cons. A like and a share is greatly appreciated because it's you guys that make the magic happen.
Yes, exactly. As long as you guys are sharing it and liking it and posting it and doing all this other stuff, we can keep doing what we're doing. It's that way. That's the way it works.
That's yeah, that's kind of how the way things go. I mean,
Anyway,
me. Anyway, yeah, let's continue. Let's continue. We won't get sidetracked here.
let's get on to what we were talking about.
Right, right. Get on with the show.
Right. Um, we were talking about buying cars out of insurance auctions.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. How do you feel about it?
It's it's a good idea and a bad idea. Does that make sense? Like it's really cool that hey Alex, what's happening, man? We're talking about insurance auctions and vehicles, and then also later on in the video we'll be talking about touching on the new Corvettes, the more news coming out about those, and also later on we're going to be talking about the new Supra, which is being delivered right now, the first edition launch ones.
Is being marked up to $100,000.
So stick around because this is going to be great. It's going to be a good one. What's up, Ray? Thank you guys for joining us. Alex, you guys make sure to give us a like, thumbs up, smiley face, whatever, and a share while you're here.
Yeah, for
Appreciate it.
sure, definitely. Always worth it.
Okay, so I was saying, I think insurance auctions are a good idea and a terrible idea at the same time. It's really like a vehicle-to-vehicle basis. It's something where you can, if you're good mechanically, or maybe you're good at cleaning cars up, and you can find the right car that is in your wheelhouse of things you can fix and stuff, you can flip them. Or sometimes you just luck out, you get a really good deal, and get yourself a nice daily driver.
Yep.
But then there's those cars.
Yeah, yeah. There are those cars that it it doesn't look too bad, and then you start tearing it apart, and you're like, there's nothing usable on this thing.
Yeah.
Or
You
you
find
you get to those cars that when the insurance wasn't supposed to sell it or whatever, and now it's not supposed to be a rebuildable car. It's supposed to be just straight up scrap parts only, and people are
hmm
rebuilding it, and now you've rebuilt this car that's supposed to be just parts. You
I
know.
mean, it could definitely be cool. They always seem to kind of be a little secretive with the auctions, as far as like the insurance auctions and even some of the police auctions. It seems to be kind of hard to find good information about them.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, there's also I've watched a couple of YouTubers who will show you that the car that they were looking at was bought by somebody before, fixed up a little bit, and then resold in another insurance auction. So it was the same car that was for sale like 6 months earlier, with just a couple of things done to it, but being sold for twice as much.
Right.
So it's like, then there's those it's that people, and then I mean, yeah, you could definitely get a really awesome car for really cheap, but it's how much work do you want to do to it?
That's really
How
what
much
it boils down to.
how much
And how
time do you put into it? How easy are parts for it? Um, are you even going to be able to title it once you're done? Are you
right
going to
and
be able
and
to insure it?
and how good like are you at spotting vehicle problems? Because that's a major factor. Is like you go into it thinking that the car needs tires, brakes, maybe a little polish, and then you start digging into it. You got wiring issues. You got, you know what I mean, and things that maybe you didn't know to look for, or
Right,
didn't know
right,
how to
right.
look for. So that's got to that's got to play a big part of the buying an auction car process. I would, for me.
Well, I mean, and not to mention, I think we were talking about this the other day. Some of these cars that are people, people are buying these newer cars so they can have this newer car for a really cheap price, but
Yeah,
they haven't crashed them yet. There's no parts for them yet. So now the
true.
part availability is the key. If you even have parts for it, if there are, how expensive is it going to be? Where do you go for these parts?
Right, and then you always
Like,
have the title issue too, whether or not the car needs to have a rebuilt title, to go along with it. Um, and those rebuilt titles, they can really hurt if you're looking for a resale value on your car. It'll really, really destroy the resale value of the
right.
car.
Yeah, even if you've 100% better than new rebuilt the car, it's
Right,
still got a
it's
rebuilt title. You're
it's a
not going
rebuilt
to get it.
title, and it's just not worth anything at that point. Yeah, yeah. No, auctions are cool. Kind of more in theory than actual real life. Like in theory, it'd be great to go and find a cheap car that needs a couple of things done to it, and either be able to keep it for myself and have an awesome daily driver for
Well,
a little while, or be able to make some money off of it.
it's like Dee's truck. The only reason why that thing even went to the insurance auction is because we were moving within 2 weeks, and I didn't have time to fix it.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we would have bought it back and fixed it. But all my stuff was packed up and ready, as was already on its way down to here, and I didn't have any tools. I
right.
didn't have anywhere to tear the truck apart. So it was just one of those things of, if I had the time, yeah, we would have kept it and probably made money on the truck. But
Right.
heck, it was. I guarantee you, whoever did buy it only put a couple grand into it.
Right. Right. So if you guys had bought it back, would it have been a rebuilt title at that point?
I don't know. I don't know how they were going to work it, because we never got that far.
Okay, because I mean, they consider, I'm assuming that because it went to auction, it was considered a total loss vehicle.
Yeah, yeah. What
Yeah.
happened was they totaled it out. They were going to give us. I think they were going to give us like $7,700 for the truck or $7,500, and then the buyback was like $3,500.
Gotcha. So you would have had the money to fix it, basically.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
Which,
yeah. So basically, what they would have done is, if we would have buy it back, we'd only get like $4,000, and then spend the $3,500 to buy it back.
so I've only ever had one car get totaled out on me. That was my Galant.
Mm-hmm.
And I got rear-ended by a pickup truck and pushed into another pickup truck, and it just like that
Ooh,
car just smushed in. But that car went to an insurance auction as well.
right.
And I remember when it happened, I was asking my dad, like, can we get the car back? Can we get it fixed? Like, is it possible? Because I really liked the car. I didn't want to get a new car.
Right. Right.
And he looked into it, and they had already taken it to auction. But I know for that, having probable frame damage, I mean, at the very least, you've got those the unibody frame fenders
Right.
rails that are right there that were all bent up. I mean, they were all rolled in, you know. So yeah, I don't. It seems like it could be a kind of a double-edged sword.
Well, I mean, some of these vehicles get totaled out for really dumb reasons.
That's why it's the other edge of the sword. There's some that are just there because all the airbags went off
Mm-hmm.
at a 20 mile per hour roll, but the airbags went off. Those are expensive, so they total lost the vehicle.
Or I've seen it to where it was like, basically the value of the vehicle, was $6,000, and there was $7,000 worth of body work.
Right.
Oh, okay. So basically everything else was perfectly functioning fine. It was just, dents and scratches and, repainting stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much all it was. So some of these things are cake to replace, and some of these things are, I think, Coffin was telling us about this one guy who bought a truck and was rebuilding it, and then found out that as he was rebuilding it, it needed a whole new frame. So it's,
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah, I remember him telling us about that. Yeah. So you never know. Ray was sorry I got distracted here. Ray was asking if cars like that have a Carfax. So they're mainly just buy as is when they go to auction like that. There's
right.
no kind of information. However, if you get the VIN number, you can run the Carfax, and that whatever accident that it was total lost in by the insurance company will in fact be on Carfax because it was reported and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, it won't come with it, but you can hunt it down and find it, because
Right.
usually when they list it with a VIN number.
Right. And so it all depends on how much time and effort you have to put into looking into these auctions, because some of them,
Right.
like you said, it could have been something really stupid, but they total lost it anyway, and now it's on auction for super cheap. It's really easy to fix,
I had a
and
friend.
you luck out.
I had a friend. They totaled out his truck because one of the cab corners up on the top got pushed in. It wasn't like a crazy amount of pushed in. It didn't break any of the windows. It didn't hinder the door. It was just a dent in the top of the cab corner. And insurance said no. Once that structural integrity is compromised, the truck's totaled. So that little thing right there, basically all he would have had to do is possibly be able to get that pulled out and fixed, and see, if it's any good. Or
Right.
heck, even depending on what the value of the truck was, get a whole new cab.
Right.
But like I said, some of these people, they go into these things and they go through them with a fine-tooth comb, and they get rebuilt better than they were brand new.
Right.
But
If it's something that you're looking into, you've never done it before, don't go in there with like the high hopes of like the storage war people on Discovery Channel. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
don't
it's not
well, don't get
easy
in over
money,
your
you
head.
know?
Don't
Right.
get in over your head. Don't start going, I'm going to buy me a Lamborghini for $1,500 because it
Yeah.
needs all this work. Yeah, well, a bumper for a Lamborghini is like $6,000.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Mind
be you're gonna
screwing
be
yourself over.
you're gonna be into it way over your head before you even realize what you're doing. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't think that you're gonna go in there and buy a Lamborghini for under $20,000 and be able
Or
to, have this $200,000 car for less than 50.
Right.
You
Even
could if you know what you're doing, but if it's your first time, start with something that you know. Start with something that's easy and you can find the parts for it and you can
right.
practice and get stuff going.
Right. You got to break your teeth on something that you think has very little wrong with it. Because what you what you don't want to do is go, okay, it's got, 5 or 6 things wrong with it, and I think I can fix them all. And then you get it and you find out it's got 10 things wrong with it. Find that one that's got like one or maybe two, and then you'll find out it's got about five, and you'll be able to work your way through it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
bikes too.
bikes are a little bit different because bikes they don't have a lot of stuff. Usually you can tell, if there's an issue with a bike, it's not really you can't really hide it too much because, a plastic will be, ripped off or something like that, or you'll
Right.
see the crack in the frame, or you'll see the bend in here. So you can, for the most part, bikes are a lot easier to kind of find that stuff for.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
but
I could see I would be more apt to buy a bike than I would be a car, just because they are more open. You can see a lot more going on with them,
yeah,
and it would just be easier to inspect,
yeah, yeah,
than
exactly.
having a big full car.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to look at it this way. Sometimes the car comes in for, it got hit in the front corner and it shoved all the suspension, ripped all the front suspension off the one side of the car. That's no big deal. That could be fixed. The frame is still good, everything like that. But the window never got put back up, and it's rained in it for the last month. So now you're going to have electrical issues. So
Right.
there's those things that you've got to look for as well. I mean, just because you go in there and you look at it and you go, oh, this is going to be an easy one. It just needs new front suspension. Yeah, but how long has it been sitting? Who's been in it? Who's been doing this to it? So a lot of
Hmm.
these ones you got to go actually look at because you're gonna get screwed over if you don't actually go look at the vehicle. Like
Oh yeah, definitely.
I was watching, what was it? Cletus McFarland. He bought a Corvette out of an auction, and they honestly bought it because it was going to have an LS motor in it, but they found out that it had a 5.3 from a Chevy truck in
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that. I saw that. Yeah, that's right. Didn't he end up engine swapping that, right? He swapped it back.
I think what they did was they blew it up and then they swapped it back.
Sounds about right.
They blew it up first. They went to see how much they could do with it, and then after it blew up, then they swapped it back. But they talked to the original owner of it because they found him.
That's right. And he was able to confirm like this really was his
Yeah,
Corvette.
right.
And what was the story? He said he blew the engine and so he found a cheap
He
V8
found
to stick in there.
a cheap junkyard engine and threw it in there and was running it up and down the track with that engine. I mean, apparently it was running good. I don't know what exactly totaled it out that the insurance ended up grabbing it, but something happened.
It may have been they found out somebody replaced the engine in it. They're like, nope, total loss.
Who knows? Yeah, I mean that's all sorts of like when Dee's truck got totaled out, I was the driver's side, the steering wheel airbag popped out, right? But I looked up at the curtain airbags
Hmm.
and I pulled the trim off, and the airbag was wrapped around the wiring harness. Like somebody had crashed the truck before and didn't fix it and then just wrapped the airbag around there. And so theoretically when they went and did the appraisal, that airbag was popped. So that's another airbag that popped. So that definitely caused the price to go up.
Right. Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
it was one of those things of sometimes there's some shady shit that goes on. So you got to watch
Right.
out for that kind of shit too.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then there's some things that, you don't even know about, like, the inertia switches on some cars, if they get hit at a certain speed, the inertia switch kicks off the fuel so the car won't burst into flames. Some people, you go and buy this car and you replace it and everything like that, and it won't run. It's a five
Right.
dollar part that you forgot to replace.
Right. Right. No, that's kind of the allure to it. I mean, it's more or less when you go to an auction, you're you're gambling to some
Yeah.
extent, because even if you're excellent at picking out what's wrong with cars and being able to give them visual inspections and you know doing the whole calculation in your head of how much it's going to cost you, how much the car's worth, that all of that stuff, you're still going to mess it up somewhere. There's still going to be something that's going to get you. So it's, you can't find everything, you can't see everything.
Hmm.
You know, so it's one of those things where it's really a gamble to do the whole auction thing. I mean, it's cool. I would love to do it at least once myself.
Yeah.
Um, but I've never just, like I said, the information on them is kind of hard to get. Like they keep it kind of on the down low.
Hmm.
So if you
I
guys
mean,
out there know how to get in contact with some of these auction places, please leave it in the comments here,
I,
because
I
I would
mean,
love to know.
I kind of wanted to. I kind of wanted to do it when I was in Kansas because we had two auction yards within like 20 minutes of the house.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Well, I
we
guess
had a
that's one way to
Copart.
find out about it.
We had a Copart lot. In fact, I think that's where Dee's truck ended up going. And then we had an IAA lot, not too much further away. And they had auctions every, I want to say every like 2 or 3 weeks. And they would just clear out their lot, and then every 2 weeks later they would have, whenever the lot would start getting full, they'd have an auction and auction off the vehicles. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
some of these vehicles are just charred, shells of a car, and it's like, well, who would buy that?
Just trying to
you
get
know
scrap value for it,
Right, right. And I mean, and some of these cars are listed as parts only cars, and some people will buy those cars for the parts only because you know junkyards don't have those parts anymore. Because remember, we were
Yeah.
talking about the whole cash for clunkers, where everyone was turning those cars in, and then they got crushed with all of those great parts still on those cars.
Yep.
So
Yep. It definitely hurt
the secondary.
junkyard industry. Yeah, the secondary market there.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, those kind of parts only cars, yeah, absolutely. I've actually followed a couple parts only car trailers where like you see like three or four cars, on a small fifth wheel type trailer on a big
Right,
dually.
right.
And there was one time when I still had my 3000 GT, and dude pulled past me, and he's got auto auctions on the side of the truck, and I'm like, oh, I'm following this guy. He's got two 3000 GTs on the back of his car. I'm like, oh yeah. So I pull into the junkyard right behind him, and I was like, hey man, I was looking at those 3000 GTs. He goes, let me stop you right there. He goes, I already sold the engines and transmissions out of those. I was like, oh. It's like, like, never mind.
Yeah,
All the
so
cool stuff's gone already. So,
yeah, all the stuff that I wanted is gone.
right?
I mean, they're still cool. They're still cool cars. I mean, they're still good looking cars, but you know, if you're trying, it's hard to find those engines anymore. It's hard to find any of
Right.
that good stuff, and that's why people are buying that stuff up and hoarding it and selling it, for marked up prices. And that's one of the things that's bad, because you get some of these guys who end up getting a 70 Chevelle totaled out.
I just want one more, please.
They got these
I was just
guys
trying
who
to get
get
another drink. Sorry.
no, you get these guys who get their 70 Chevelle totaled out, and it's just it's heartbreaking to see that. But where are you going to find parts for it anymore? So
Right.
people will buy the car just for the parts,
Oh
and
yeah.
and
Especially classics.
and make a mint on just the parts. Oh,
Yeah, they'll sell them all over the country. Did I get an angry face?
we got a whole bunch of them. I think it's from D.
While you're giving us angry faces, make sure to share this video.
Yeah, there you go. Do that.
I can't hear because it's sound deadening, so I couldn't hear what you were saying earlier.
Ooh.
There's still a little bit left. You want to finish that one? No, you probably spit in it. I didn't spit in it. That would be
we've been
gross.
talking about your truck quite a lot. Quite a lot. We have. No. So the some jacked up thing is recently recently, Dee got a Carfax report that said that her truck was due for an oil change.
Nice. Nice.
So her truck got bought and rebuilt and is driving around New Jersey right now.
Oh. It happens. It happens.
I mean,
Somebody's out there trying to make a buck on these things. Someone's gonna,
yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah. But I mean, like I said, it wasn't a bad truck before the accident, and I
Right.
guarantee you that we could have fixed it 100% if we had the time.
Right. Which is always where things get mucky with time and money.
Yeah. Time and money.
Time and
Yep.
money.
That would always work. I had a neighbor with a 57 Chevy sitting in his garage for as long as I knew, and he'd have, whenever he had the time, he didn't have the money. Whenever he had the money, he never had the time. So it's just one of those things.
Yep. I know how that goes. I know how that goes.
That's why that.
Speaking of time and money, it's about time to talk about where a lot of people's money is being spent right now.
Oh yeah.
On the everyone's pre-ordering their C8 Corvettes.
Yeah, and they're dumping pre-orders on their Supras and their Mustang GT 500s.
Yeah.
I've been hearing whole sorts of rumors about people going, "Oh, the C8 Corvette is cheaper and it's faster." Well,
right.
I'm not going to spend $70,000 on this Mustang. I'm going to go buy a C8 Corvette.
He's got an AMC Javelin. AMC Javelin, nice. I've always wanted to build one of those AMC Eagles. I thought that would be a lot of fun to do.
We've got a guy on here with a Javelin.
Javelin.
Yeah.
It's a cool car. Cool car.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I've been trying to get him to post up some pictures of it, but he every time he says, "Oh yeah, I'll do it," and he never does. So.
No, we want to see your Javelin.
One of these days we'll see it.
So people are dropping their orders for their Mustangs and their Supras.
Yep.
For the C8 Vet.
Well, I mean, the Supra is what? Rated at like 400 horsepower, something like that? Maybe a little bit less.
It's rated at 330 horsepower. The dyno testing has been testing them right around 350 to 360. So they've been and over 400 foot-pounds of torque is what they've been dynoing at, which is way more than what Toyota's numbers were released at, and so it's a lot faster of a car than you would think. But it starts at $50,000. Yeah. So do you spend the extra $10,000 to get the new Corvette that's mid-engined and looks like a Ferrari Lamborghini child?
It has a 0 to 60 of half as fast as the Supra.
Mm-hmm. So you're I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. I mean, it's gonna
because everyone's touting the C8 as a supercar.
Right.
So
they are.
So it's an attainable supercar that, if all of these numbers and all of these rumors are true, it's going to run along with the big boys for a quarter of the price.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to make this I'm pumped about the new Corvette. I really, really want the new Corvette to be awesome because I do like it in general. But everyone needs to pump the brakes, man. There's something wrong with it. There's something wrong with that car. There's got to be some kind of major extreme flaw to it. That, seriously, okay. So I've been told, because they went with aluminum and not carbon fiber for their frames, it's going to cost way cheaper. And because they went with, the different stuff, and they didn't do all the fancy materials that they do for, the Italian mid-engines. Fine. I get that that's where a lot of cost savings come from. But not that much cost savings. There's something wrong with that car. There's some corners that they cut. There has to be. I'm calling them out right now. Somebody somewhere was like, we don't need to complete that weld. We don't really need this. We don't really need that safety feature. We can cut that out. I'm just saying something's wrong.
I'm not going to say that they cut out quality. But I am going to say that you have to look at it this way. I'd say a good $60,000 of a Ferrari are the badges on it. You see the Ferrari badges, and they can charge more.
That's because it's a Ferrari.
Right, exactly. That it and they have issues too. They break down quite a lot. They have if they sit for too long, they die.
Fragile.
So
they are fragile.
I think what it is the fact that it's like an American, Chevy car, and they don't have that prestigious name that they can mark it up with. And it's one of those things of they tried to keep it under a certain cost to keep it attainable.
Right.
Because if here's the deal, if they're going to be able to run with the big boys at that price, they're going to sell a fuck ton of those.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Which is why I'm telling everybody pump the brakes, because we're going to find out like one or two things here. One, there's going to be some kind of major flaw with the car where it's really like, I'm serious. There's going to be something. It's going to be some kind of major flaw. Maybe it's an overheating issue. Maybe it's a handling issue. Maybe the engine doesn't work quite right. Or maybe the transmission is too weak. Maybe the chassis is actually still going to tweak like it was in a lot of those testing cars and break. I don't know. But there's going to be something wrong. Or we're going to find out that Chevy is selling these cars at a complete loss and is just kind of fudging the numbers so they can get them out there to the public so they can improve onto the next Corvette, and it's got that perceived value because they say we fixed all the crap that was wrong with it, and they're going to charge more. Like, it's not going to be perfect. It's not. There's no possible way it's as perfect as they say it is. It's just not possible.
Yeah, I don't know. And you got to remember, they're not offering it with a manual.
No, they're not offering it with a manual.
So,
not that that's necessarily a bad thing. There's a lot of Ferraris that don't have manuals. That they got the dual clutch system, which is great. It is the first Corvette not being offered in a manual transmission.
Well, the way they look at it, out of the C7. Why? Okay.
Is your wifey messing with you now?
She walked in the door and flipped me off. I don't know why.
Oh, that's pretty normal.
Thanks.
It's pretty standard.
So, thanks for. I have no idea what I was talking about now. I have no idea what I was talking about. What was I saying?
We were talking about what?
Thank you.
Who? I don't know. Somebody remembers what we were talking about. Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you share the video.
But here, I will say this. That car is still going to be heavy.
It's going to be heavier. It's going to be heavier.
3,500 pounds.
That's really, I mean, I got to be honest, that's not bad.
No, it's not. But I mean,
considering where the Challenger and the Mustang line up and the Camaro, it's not bad.
The Challenger is a land yacht. Come on now.
The Challenger is like my favorite out of all the muscle cars. Okay, it's cool. It's a little fat. It's a little heavy.
The Challenger, if it went on a diet, would decimate a lot of cars. Especially that Demon. If that Demon weighed as much as this new Corvette, 1,500 pounds lighter than it is, it would be insane.
Oh yeah, definitely. Which is why all you need to do is buy one of those and put it on a diet.
Yeah.
What's up, Jeffrey Jones? What's up, man? Hey, while you're here, make sure to hit that like and share button, buddy, because people like you, like me. I like you, and you should like us. So thanks for showing up, dude. Good to have you.
There you go. But no, I think what's going to happen with this Corvette is they're going to sell an absolute ton of them, and it's going to scare these other actual supercars, and some of these people who've been buying Ferraris are going to start buying some of these. They can buy 2 and 3 Corvettes for the price of one Ferrari.
I think you're being a little facetious there, buddy.
No.
See, yeah, come on.
No,
No Ferrari guys going, yeah, I'm going to buy that new Corvette. I'm saving myself some money. Not a single Ferrari owner is doing that. That's not happening. What's going to happen is a bunch of guys like me that are like, man, I want to buy a Ferrari, but I can't because they're way too
I've
expensive.
already seen posts of people selling Lamborghinis going, I just put down a deposit on a new C8.
Not happening. It's just not
I've
true.
seen it.
You are fake news, okay? You are
Okay.
fake news.
Okay. No, I'm serious. It's one of those things. It's crazy. You know how everyone's got to have the new shit, right? So, you know, now that people are, hey, what's going on, Bernie? Now that people are seeing this car and that it's not the same old from Corvette, I people are excited about it, even though they've
Some
never
people are
seen
excited, but
anything
like
about
my
it.
friend Jeffrey Jones right here, he's not very excited. Jeffrey's all talking about he doesn't like that it's a mid-engine. Should have been a different car. That was your initial impression on the Corvette, was that it should have been a different car.
Well, see, that's my thing is if Corvette was going to if Chevy was going to do it, they should have left the Corvette alone and come out with another car and
Right?
named and done it that way. Which I mean, but then again, they've been wanting to do a mid-engine Corvette
Forever. The
the
guy that
first
designed the Corvette, yeah,
since the
and I've
first
heard the
one.
story.
So
Yeah, since the first one.
I mean,
We've
they've
been getting
had
teased for a long time.
yeah, they've had multiple concepts come out. I mean, 2 and 3 different concepts that came out. But now that they
That's why
finally,
there's
I don't know. I I think
that's why there's
they.
just like this little part of me, man, that's rooting for the Corvette to be awesome. There's a little
I mean,
part of me that's like, I really hope that somebody, even if it took them the last, 70 years to figure it out, they figured out how to make a mid-engine supercar for really cheap.
so
Yes, please, and
my
thank you.
question is this. My question is this: if this car lives up to the hype, are we going to see a lot more lower tier cars go mid-engine?
Mm, I think what you're going to see is there's going to be a race to figure out who can make that kind of car for that kind of price range, but better than what the Corvette is.
Right.
If in fact the Corvette is as good as I think it is, we don't know.
Right.
We don't
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
100% know yet.
so if it lives up to the hype and it actually performs how they say it should perform, are we going to see Toyota come out with a mid-engine car? Are we going to see, you know, maybe Honda come back out with an actual mid-engine NSX? I mean, it's mid-engine now, but I mean like an early NSX, not what they've got now.
Yeah, now the NSX is mostly hybrid parts, so it's different. No, what you're going to see, this is exactly what's going to happen. If the Corvette lives up to its hype, you're going to have a Dodge mid-engine car. Because Fiat owns Chrysler, they also own Ferrari and Maserati. So don't forget, if they want to compete with the Corvette, all they got to do is make the new Dodge Viper a mid-engine Ferrari on the cheap and call it a day. Like seriously, you put a Challenger nose on the Ferrari 458 Italia and call it a night. Done.
If
Boom. I
I don't,
just blew your mind.
no, I don't think you'll ever. You can't put
Yep.
you can't make a Viper mid-engine. It just
Yep.
doesn't work.
That's what's
No,
gonna happen.
no,
And it's
no,
not. It's gonna have a Ferrari V12, and it's gonna be mid-engine Ferrari V12, and it's gonna be phenomenal.
not the Viper.
Yep.
No.
Can we bring back the IROC?
Well,
Oh,
from what I'm hearing, they've said that if the Corvette performs how it should, the Camaro may die off again.
oh, they're gonna kill off the Camaro.
Yeah,
That's
because
what they did.
I think we were reading. I think I was reading an article about it. They said like 2023 that they kind of want to kill off the Camaro. I mean, heck, the Corvette's already got the Camaro taillights. What else? I mean, that
That's true. They did kind of smush like a Camaro back end on there. That's what I'm
yeah.
telling you, dude. What they're gonna do is they're gonna take like some Challenger body styling and they're gonna put it onto the Ferrari and take away all the nice materials that they used to make the Ferrari, just like Chevy did. But it's still going to have the Ferrari engine, and it's going to have Dodge badges on it, and you're just going to be destroyed. That's what's about to happen. And that will be a car I will buy because I've always wanted a Ferrari. That's like top of the list dream car. Ferrari, please.
Even if it's not badged as a Ferrari?
Even if it's not bad. Even if it's not. It'd be like buying the Audi R8. I know in my heart that I bought a Lamborghini, and I'm okay with that.
So, well, hold on. What do you think they would if they were to make a mid-engined Dodge? What do you think they would do? Do you think they would just use a rebadged Ferrari, or would they actually do something, create something?
No, you know what they'll do is they'll take the basic layout of the Ferrari, and they'll make it new out of aluminum and some cheaper parts. It'll be honestly it'll be more expensive than the Corvette will.
Oh yeah.
What you'll end up seeing is maybe they'll resurrect a name like the Daytona or something, and that'll be like that kind of racing heritage moving into it. But this is all speculation. This is my opinion.
Yeah, of course.
But
yeah.
with Fiat owning Ferrari and this Corvette kind of being like, oh yeah, we can do what Ferrari does, but for a quarter the price, Ferrari's going to be like, no, you can't. Also, we just made one and put a Dodge badge on it, so screw you guys. We're still better. Like that's going to happen.
Do you think that Maserati would end up getting a mid-engined car?
No, because Maserati has been they've had a lot of copy Ferrari cars for the Maseratis, and they've always been the front engine rear drives. They've never taken any of the mid-engine Ferraris and could have, so I don't see it happening to Ferrari or to Maserati. I don't think they're going to do mid-engined. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a Dodge. It'll be a Dodge.
What'd be interesting? What'd be interesting is if they took the Charger and squatted it down a little bit and threw a mid-engine in that thing and made it two-seater, two-door again.
That'd be sweet.
I think I could get behind that if they did that.
Well, I'm telling you, dude. There's something wrong with Corvette, and we're not going to see any of this cool stuff that I'm talking about.
No,
there is. There's something wrong with that thing.
Well, you know what it's probably going to be is no matter how amazing everybody says the new Corvette is every time it comes out, people still don't buy it because the base price is $60,000. But once you start throwing all you don't buy a base Corvette.
At the very least, you get the rim option, right? At the very least, you're like, well, I want the better rims, though.
But for the most part, you're not going to buy you've got the options of Corvettes, and you go, oh, okay. It's like how many people actually buy the V6 Mustangs?
Well, a lot of women really like the V6 Mustang.
Okay, I understand. But I mean, what I'm saying is, for the most part, when you're starting to go into cars like that, you want to buy that top of the line one. You want to buy the big dog, and those things are going to be, $100,000.
Right. And Rich, you're totally right. Yeah, it's going to be when you actually buy. Like the base is going to be $60K, but when you actually buy one and you're out the door, you're going to be looking $80 to $100K. Absolutely.
I mean, for this first year, you're not going to because all they've got is the Z51 package. But you're going to start getting the Z06s, and you're going to start getting these, LT3 packages and all this other stuff.
Yeah, they'll do all the different options, the Grand Sport and the SS, and they'll do all the craziness. Absolutely. The V6 Mustang is not a car.
I know it's not, but I'm saying when you go out and buy a Mustang, most likely you're going to buy a GT or something, higher up in the scaling. So if you've got the option of a base model Corvette or a Z06, you're probably going to want to go for the Z06 because
Right. And if you can't afford the Z06, they're going to come out with like a Grand Sport package, so you can almost be a Z06.
right,
But you're not a base model at least, right? And
right.
that's how they're going to get people. But I will say this: it's going to keep the Toyota Supra honest as far as pricing. Same with the GT500. It's going to keep them honest in pricing because the Toyota Supras, all the launch editions, which are they're limited edition cars, so they're a little bit more special, and I get that. But like we were talking about, they're going for around $100,000, which is that's 100% markup easily. Still,
Unless you ordered one.
right.
If you actually ordered one and pre-ordered one and made sure that you had it all taken care of, then you're getting it
Right. You already got locked in.
yeah, you're locked in at that price. But yeah, if it just shows up to a dealership and they say sell this thing, it's going to be $100,000. So
Everyone's mom thinks they're special, which means that none of us are special. Not a single
oh
one. Well, if everybody's special, no one is. Hello.
no, we're all special.
Right, which means that nobody's special.
No, no, we're all special.
If everyone is special, then that means special is normal, and we're all normal, so no one is special.
Yeah, but I'm still special.
Yeah, okay.
But
Get
no,
off topic.
yeah, quit doing that. But these yes, the launch editions are limited to what 2,500 or something like that.
Yeah, there's very few. Very
And
few.
and people are talking about, oh well, this Corvette is going to get dealer markup to whatever, but it's not a special edition. It's not a limited car. Even if it does
True.
get marked up this first year, by next year it's going to be right back to where it's supposed to be.
Rich is trying.
No,
Don't read it. Rich is trying to take us down the rabbit hole of soup
no
now.
soup, no
No
food.
soup for you. No soup for you.
But so I mean, it's not going to get, even if it does get marked up, it's not going to be marked up for very long, and people are just going to not buy it because they know for a fact that a cheaper version of it is going to come out next year.
Something's gonna happen to that car, man. I'm telling you. Everyone's gonna buy into it. It's gonna sell huge when it launches. Huge.
Well,
And then they're gonna find out they're catching on fire or something. I'm serious. Don't be that guy.
Chevy has a history of putting out a vehicle like when the 1500s came out a couple years ago. They put out this awesome 1500 and everyone flocked to the dealership to buy it. And then 6 months later, they had a new option. They had a whole list of new options for it that all the people who had originally ran out and bought it didn't get. And it's like, oh, I kind of wish I had that. Like, it had push button extending mirrors and all this other cool stuff that all these first people who first bought it never got because
Right.
they rushed out to get it right away. And again, like I've always said before, you don't buy the first year of a new car.
No, doesn't matter what it is. Never by the first year. Doesn't matter.
Because there's
Like
always
there's something wrong with it, and then there's a bunch of lemons out there. Like a few people will get the really like good ones, and then there'll be a bunch of lemons out there that like really, because like I've talked about before, you can't test a car for every condition it's going to be in. Like,
right.
so for people in mild conditions, probably going to be fine. For people that have any kind of extreme, whether it be heat or cold, you're not going to be okay. It's going to be bad.
Yeah. But I mean, how many people are really going to drive it in the wintertime?
I don't know, man. For some reason, I saw a whole bunch of Porsches driving in the wintertime this past year. The Panoramas. I don't know why.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, that's kind of those ones are weird because people would buy those as like a family car.
No, Rich, I don't think they said how many they were going to make. I know I'm a little late on that comment, but I don't think so. Rich asked how many they were going to make of the new Corvette.
I think it's just going to be a regular production run.
Yeah, I think they're just going to
as many as they can. I mean, how many did they sell last year?
You'll drive it forever in Arizona. Not with those big old spiders Marty's got over there. Yeah. I saw that and I was like, yep, Arizona never going there. That's not happening. Screw that state.
It was so
I'm
funny.
done.
It was so funny. Dee and I were walking back from the kitchen out to the front door, and I just see him traveling along the floor, and I go, "Oh, hey, what are you doing?" She goes, "What?" I'm like, "There's a spider right there," and she goes, "Ah, here, take a picture of it." And then she
Yeah,
got
no,
mad at me. She
I
got
would
mad
have
at me because I shoot him out the front door and didn't kill
I would have burned the house down. I would have just lit the entire house on fire. That would have been done.
him.
Can't have that house.
It was just so funny though. He's just traveling along the floor,
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Hey, oh, hey, what are you doing?"
need that flamethrower, man. I'm gonna get the flamethrower to carry with me for them spiders.
Oh,
Rich is on my side. Sidearm for spiders. They got that new civilian use flamethrower. I'm totally buying that. No more
yeah,
spiders in my house.
yep. Okay, I can dig it. I can dig it.
Hmm.
But yeah,
But it's
that's
crazy because this new Corvette, like everyone's so hyped. And here you have the Supras finally rolling off trucks and they're getting ignored.
I
Like they're
have.
getting ignored. Everybody was like up here for Supras and now they're like, nah.
Well, the thing about Supras is they've been trying to tease it for so long that I mean it was teased for like 2 years before they ever showed you anything, and then finally they show you something and they're like, yeah, it's going to come out 2020. Okay, and then you don't hear anything about it, and then now they're starting to roll up into the dealerships, and it's like, oh, I forgot this car was coming out.
True, it has been a minute. It has been a minute since they announced they were coming out to now. They're finally making it to
Yeah,
dealerships. But it was a big deal. It
it
was a big
was.
deal they were
It
going to bring
was.
back the Supra, and now it's not a big deal.
No,
And
it's
a
really
lot of
not.
people, honestly, a lot of people were. There's more people disappointed with the Supra than are excited about the Supra, and there's more people, that they haven't had the opportunity to be disappointed by the Corvette yet because we still have yet to see it actually drive. Like I've
You
seen
know,
it,
it's.
do parking lot stuff, but I haven't seen that thing go down a track. I haven't seen that thing rip
I
around a road
saw.
course or anything.
I saw a couple of quick flyby videos of it.
Oh, doing some flybys. I know
Yeah.
they're testing it. It's being tested.
Well, hell,
How long are we gonna have?
people are already tagging it. People are already putting license plates and stuff on it. Like they're cruising them around already. I've
What do you,
I've 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 been seeing them running around with actual plates. So I mean, somebody's buying them already.
somebody's got them. Somebody's got them. Somebody's out there testing them, and they haven't released anything to the rest of us. So I want
So
to know what's
my
wrong with it.
question,
Someone better
yeah,
tell.
my question is, they're not showing you any of the test footage or
Right.
the test numbers. What are they hiding something?
Yeah, the thing that's
Or
wrong with it.
Juice edition? What are you gonna
The
get? What is it? 95 white Bronco? I think, was it a 95 or 96?
Yeah, 96 maybe. The OJ Bronco. Oh man, I gotta tell you what, classy looking truck. I'd totally rock one.
You know, there
Oh
was
yeah,
there's one for
absolutely.
sale down the street from me. It's one of the red and brown, like tan ones, red and gold ones. I might have to stop and look at it just to see
Saw
it.
a two-tone red and silver the other day, and a guy that I work with has an all-red Bronco that he fixed up really nice. It's gorgeous.
There's a
Um,
bunch of them around by me.
I tell you what, does anybody remember that the Bronco's supposed to be coming out? I bet not. Everybody's forgot.
Well, it's the same thing as the Supra. They teased it. They showed you a little bit here, and that's it. That's all you've seen. You don't even know what it fully looks like.
Right. I have no idea. Just renderings and artist guests, like
Yeah,
guests,
and
and
it's
then you
supposed to
have
come
the
out
the
for
one
2020.
appearance. Right. And you have the one appearance from apparently in the Rock's movie, the Rampage, based off the 90s arcade game.
Yeah,
Um, they had a Bronco, a prototype Bronco in there. I don't know if you saw the movie. I did. I fell asleep. It was okay. But they had the prototype Bronco in there, and so a bunch of people said that's what it's going to be.
I've seen a bunch of, I don't know. I just want it to be out already. I just want to see it. I've heard
Something.
rumors. I've heard rumors that it's going to look like the '60s Broncos. Which, if it's going to look like the '60s Broncos, let's do it. That's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what it looks like when it finally comes out, because
Oh yeah.
I think
Well,
I
that's it.
think what's going on is they're they want to do that whole thing of, build up anticipation and build up the want for it. But after a while, people are gonna go, all right, now you know what, you've teased me too long. I don't even care anymore. I'm gonna go buy a Jeep now, because I'm just sick of waiting for this thing.
Right. Right. Yeah, you know, you're totally right, Rich. They said they've changed a bunch of it, but there's no product yet. We haven't seen anything, but everyone is
Yes,
asphyxiated.
I'm in southern Arizona.
Right. Which is more south than the rest of the state of Arizona.
Well, let's just say I can see the border from this window. That's how southern Arizona I am.
Right. So you're more south than the rest of
What's
the state of Arizona.
what sweater are you talking about? I'm wearing short sleeves.
Yeah, me too. Actually, Marty, are we matching today?
I'm wearing the old one.
Oh, I got the new one on.
I'm wearing the old one. I haven't
Although
put the new one on in a minute.
mine's lasting. Although I stained it. My white vinyl is all stained because I was working in the garage with it on. But
Oh,
I figure if it's not stained, I'm just not doing it right. It looks
yeah,
like a
no, I'm
sweater.
wearing short sleeves.
No,
It's too hot.
it's just the beard connecting to the whole shirt there. It looks like it's a sweater, but
It's
it's just
it's too hot. It's too hot for that. It was nice thing
it's
about
hot
where I'm
today.
at. Not nice thing about where I'm at is it doesn't really go up over 100 very often here, because we're kind of high in the mountains. So, and we still get somewhat of a winter. It'll still drop to like 30 every now and then. So,
That's enjoyable. 30's
yeah,
nice. 30's nice.
yeah, yeah.
It was hot today. It was hot today over here too. We were in the 90s. Went to the Bears training camp, so it was a lot of fun.
I got to shave it soon. Somebody told me I have to shave it soon.
You've been talking about shaving it for too long.
Well, I've also talked about shaving it when we hit 1,000 members. So we'll see. We'll see what
Apparently,
happens.
everybody likes your beard too much. You got to stop offering that. They're like, no, I don't want Marty's beard to be shaved off. I'm not gonna have anybody join.
Vegas is, I want to say, like 5 hours north of here. I'm south of Tucson. Okay, I know where that's at. Yeah, that's a nice area up there too.
For those of you who are wondering who Marty's talking to, well,
Sorry.
he's talking to Rich. And if you're not joining us live on Facebook every week, you should be. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, make sure to head over to Facebook and become a ATO member over there, where you
I'm
can
right up.
join in the conversation.
I am right outside of Fort Huachuca, so I'm in Sierra Vista.
God bless you. For what now?
Fort. Oh shit! I stepped in something squishy.
Oh, okay.
When you're walking through the house in the middle of the night and you step in like a water spot and you're like, ah, chuka. That's where I'm at.
That's the noise I make for Legos when I step on that one Lego brick in the middle of the floor out of nowhere. Ah,
It's not bad. It's really. Let's just say this: if the base wasn't here, there wouldn't be a town. It would be
Makes
it would
sense.
be desert.
Makes sense.
It's one of those things of it's not bad down here. It's there's a lot of open land. Like if I drove from here to Tombstone, it's like a 30-minute drive, and you probably don't see houses for
Tomb?
most of that. Yeah,
You don't want to
Tombstone.
drive to Tombstone.
No, why not?
Isn't that where all the gunslingers live with their,
Well, not
cool
anymore.
cowboy pistols and the OK Corral showdown?
Not anymore.
And the
But
Huckleberry
yes,
guy,
that is where I'm talking about. Yes, I'm right down the street from there.
Dr. Huckleberry Finn, whatever his name was, I don't know.
Doc
I know I
Holliday.
messed that up. There you go. I know I messed up terribly. I was hoping someone would correct me. Uh, but what do you think, though? Do you think that you think this whole thing is just going to be like a phase? Like,
Mm.
we're super psyched for the Supra, and then a few people actually got their hands on it and were like, guys, it's medium. It's very medium. And they're like, nah, we're done with it.
Yeah,
When a few people actually, like, legitimately get to drive and review the Corvette, do you think it's going to be like, oh,
I think I think it's one of those things of it's new and it's exciting, so everyone's excited about it. And 6 months from now, it'll be one of those things. It'll be just another Corvette.
could be, could very potentially be, could very
Because
potentially be.
look at when Ford redesigned the Super Duty. Everyone was excited about it, and then it's just there you go. Here it is. When they brought out the Supra, they're like, "Oh my god, I can't wait for the Supra! It's gonna be awesome!" And now the launch editions are showing up, and people are like, "Oh yeah, that the Supra's out. That's cool."
Yeah. Woo.
Or even for the NSX, everyone was, "Oh my god, they're gonna bring the NSX back. This is awesome!" And then they see it, and they're like,
Yeah.
"I
But
don't
they
know."
ruined it. But they were like, guys, the NSX, it's a hybrid. And a bunch of people were like, lame, done, no thanks.
Oh, Rich, we're at 4,300 feet, so we're kind of we're nice. We're comfy.
You're, you're
And
up
if
here
you
in the
if you
comfy
go
part.
to if you go run over by Bisbee, it's at 4,600 feet. So it's we get snow every now and then.
Not bad.
Yeah,
Not
that's
bad.
fun.
Well,
But I think for the most part, people are going. There's going to be some crazy people who, well, not crazy people. There's going to be still some crazy people just absolutely in love with this new Corvette. And then
mm-hmm.
there's going to be the people who, kind of like us, who are going to be like, "Oh man, this new Corvette's pretty dang awesome," and then we're going to be like, "No," a couple months later, we're going to be like,
Yeah,
whatever."
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with this vet, but it's going to be interesting to see as we continue to get more and more developments of it. Everyone's obviously super stoked for the new vet right now, and I think rightfully so. So it's going to be one of those things where, like, okay, how how much longer are we going to be excited for it? Is there something else that's going to come out to be like overshadowing it, or are we going to find out that there's something, like I think, majorly wrong with the Corvette, and we're just going to be like, and done?
And I called it.
Yeah, called it right here. Placing my bets right now. There's something wrong with the Corvette. I'm putting the money down.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's too early to tell if more people are just excited that it's new and different,
Yeah,
or uh, or if people are just genuinely excited for a mid-engine Corvette. Because I mean, you still got these these purists, as you would call them, who are like, it's not a Corvette, it's mid-engine, or
right,
this
right.
that's not a Corvette, I'm not buying one. I'm keeping my C7.
Yeah, and I think that the right now the hype is there's this awesome new car. It's got great numbers. It's supposed to be really cheap. It's supposed to be really fast. It's supposed to be basically a Italian sports car European thing. And it's there's something that's going to be wrong with it. There's some kind of major flaw with it. There's seriously something like you guys got to pump your brakes because something is going to knock you off.
I
But
I don't think that's going to be some huge catastrophic failure or
there's got to be
something
something,
majorly wrong.
man.
Well, no, what I'm saying is I don't think there's going to be something stupid wrong with it. But my question is, if they do pull it off and they are able to have a what's touted as a supercar for 60 grand, why in the hell can't Ferrari and Lamborghini and McLaren make something in that same bracket?
Right, which is why I was talking about that. I think that Fiat's basically going to go, you know what? If that's how we're going to play it, all right. And they're going to give you a Dodge something. It's going to maybe not a Viper, maybe not a Daytona, but they're going to give you a Dodge something. And it's going to be one of their mid-engine Ferraris with cheaper materials. That's what's
Mhm.
going to. That's what I foresee happening.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Oh,
just to answer your question real quick there, Mr. Rich, Bears training camp was phenomenal. I met Akeem Hicks and Zach Miller, and it was phenomenal. And other than the heat and the kids being absolutely miserable because it was hot out, I got to see the guys play, and the team looks good. We're gonna be NFC North champs again this year for sure.
I'm
100%.
excited for it.
100%. It was awesome.
One of my buddies was telling me about Arizona Cardinals are hiding footballs with tickets around the state, and I was like, oh, so basically they're just saying, here, you throw this away. Uh, but
Oh, Cardinals.
I don't know. There's so much like new yet old stuff that's supposed to be coming out that I think a lot of what happened with the Supra was nostalgia. People are like, "Oh man, I can't wait. There's going to be a Supra. This is amazing."
Mhm.
And then it wasn't. Same thing with the Bronco. People are like, "Oh man, there's going to be a new Bronco. This is going to be amazing." Let's see if it lives up to the hype.
We'll see.
Because
And here we are,
because
we're sitting at Corvette.
I mean, what's the Jeep? The Jeep hasn't had a direct competitor in forever.
Right.
I mean, what is its direct competitor? Um, I mean, Land Cruiser.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
it's a little bit bigger, but I mean,
Maybe
honestly,
there hasn't been a serious off-road vehicle to compete with it in its size or class or whatever for a long time. So if they were to do a Bronco and they get it right,
yeah,
power to them. You got to be able to tap into that Jeep market because they're just holding it down. And they've been
yeah.
selling their Jeeps forever.
And now,
Um,
and now that they've branched out into the small pickup market, they're
oh yeah, no,
they're
definitely,
getting
definitely.
cocky. They're getting cocky because there's
Hey, I
nothing.
want a Gladiator.
Yeah, dude, seriously,
I might buy one. I might. It might happen. We'll see.
they're gonna
I'm
be a
waiting for
little bit
them.
more. They're gonna be a little bit more expensive due to that train derailment that totaled out like 30 of them.
That's true. That's true. Also, not my train. Just a heads up, not my train. That wasn't mine. I
No,
was not responsible for
I
that one.
think it was in New Mexico, I think, or something like that.
It doesn't matter where it was. It was not mine. So it doesn't. It's not my problem.
Well, I'm just
I
saying
was
it
not.
was in New Mexico, so it was far away.
Right. Well, a lot of the trains I work on do travel far away, but mine don't
True.
carry cars right now. So, and I'm just saying it's not my fault. Sorry, guys.
What do you hate the way it looks? The new Gladiator, Rich? You don't like the Gladiator? Because
I,
I've been wanting. You know what? The thing about the Gladiator is I would have been really excited if they used the M.
like the truck Jeep. Oh, I like the truck Jeep. Just imagine it like this, Rich. Imagine it like this, right? Okay, so off the bed, there's just a nice easy roll bar with the supports that come down. And mounted at the top of that roll bar is a 50 caliber machine gun, and you're just standing in the back of that thing, just cruising through terrain like crazy, just dot, 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 dot. Because zombie apocalypse. Of course, that's what I'm talking about. You guys are
But
terrible.
you could do that with the current Jeeps.
But it doesn't have a pickup bed, so I don't have as much room to stand.
Yeah, but if you jump down, you could be inside of it already instead of
But
having to be in the
the
bed.
top still comes off, so I can jump around and do a whole full 180 degrees. And now I'm the tail gunner. Now I'm the tail gunner. How many? I'm telling you.
Just rotate it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I would jump
I
around to
think
the seat, and then I would jump back into the
I
bed.
think if they would
Be
have
the
gone
best
with
technical ever.
I think if they would have gone with the original concept front end, the old military, what was it? One M17, I want to say, the old M17 front ends, that would
Yeah.
have been a lot better looking.
Ah, I think the truck. I mean, it's just my personal opinion. I think the truck looks great. I really want to buy one.
I think they look good, and especially once you start throwing some lifts and wheels and tires on them, they
Yeah.
start looking a lot better. It's kind of it's kind of sad when your stock vehicle looks like garbage, and then the only way to make it look better is to throw aftermarket parts on it. They're like, oh, well, we're gonna make it look ugly as all get out, so you have to spend money after you're done with it, so you can make it look good. You know,
Right. Yeah. I mean I like the new Jeep. I would totally rock one. And yeah, it would be the best technical ever. Just it would be.
I don't know.
But I don't know. That it's so okay, so then is the Corvette the Jeep Gladiator of the mid-engine market then right now? Is that what we're talking about?
I don't know. I I want to know what kind of I want to know what kind of aftermarket the Corvette's going to have, because it's had a great aftermarket with the older models, but now that it's a whole new redesigned model, I mean, what they're going to have to go back to the drawing board, and people are going to have to start figuring stuff out. Because
Right.
I'm sure sooner or later people are going to start throwing, twin turbo kits on it, or superchargers on it, and it's going to need more airflow, and it's going to need to do this. But I mean, where is that stuff at? And it's going to not be cheap right away, because they have to completely design it from the ground up.
Mm-hmm. It'll be
Yeah,
interesting to see
they
because
really
unlike the Supra, which is designed to be modified, it's got those
right.
removable vents and it's all got all kinds of stuff ready. It's ready to be modified. The Corvette is not going to be. The Corvette's going to be how it's supposed to be, and that's it.
Well,
Um,
the suspension they've changed from leaf spring to first time ever coils all the way around. So
yeah, and
they've done a lot.
if you get the upper packages, they're talking about magnetic suspension.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so, but the
yeah.
base
Make
models are going to
it
have standard
practical.
shocks, but
Yeah, but yeah, like I
it,
said, most
it
people are going
might
to be
burst
going
into
for
flames.
the upgrades anyway.
Right. It might burst into flames, dude. It really might. I mean,
Well, I
seriously,
mean,
what
the C7s have had an issue with overheating when you take them.
overheating?
And,
And when
and
Chevy designed the Fiero, that was a mid-engine that overheated also.
right,
So I, don't- I don't know, man. I don't know where their heads are at or
I'm
what,
not
but
seeing
that
enough.
may
I'm
be
not
it.
seeing
It
enough
may be the
airflow.
airflow.
I'm not
Yep.
I'm not seeing enough airflow for that engine to cool down.
I give it a couple months, and you know what's going to happen is they're going to have like a NSX style intake coming over the top of the thing to get more air down to the engine.
Because I mean, yes, the side vents are nice and cool, but the to get air into that engine, those things would have to do a drastic turn.
Right.
And I'm not seeing anything over the top that directs air into the engine compartment. And I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know what's underneath it, but still, I mean, it doesn't seem
They've
like
got the
there's a
side
lot of airflow.
scoops. They got like that back kind of like grids kind of going into the back there. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's going to scoop a whole lot of air, and they didn't try to do like a front mount radiator, which I know a lot of the cars, like mid-engine cars, when they have like an issue, they add in that third radiator to the front end of it to just give it that extra little bit of cooling power.
Right, right.
So there's always a possibility they do something like that, but I don't. As of right now, they're not, and as of right now, I've only seen it drive around. I know people are driving it, but I've only seen it drive around a parking lot. I haven't seen it
Yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
anything
The slow,
spectacular yet.
the slow speed, drive through the parking lot, park it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've seen a handful of videos where they do a pretty decent flyby,
Hmm.
but that's one flyby or two flybys.
Right. It's a single
Once you
pull and a
start,
single gear.
yeah, once you start getting into that, once you start getting that thing hot, is it going to stay hot? Is it going to be able to cool itself down? Is it going to have issues? There's
Something. Something, man. I'm telling you
this
something.
transmission.
But
This transmission that they've got is brand new. That like
right.
it's never been in a vehicle before. So
Yeah, there's another untested thing. Don't
It's
don't buy the first year. Just telling
yeah,
you.
yeah. Make
You
sure
heard
you
it
get
here
a
on ATO. There's
make
something
sure you
wrong
get
with
a.
that Corvette. Don't buy
And if
it.
you do, and it breaks, sorry.
Told you so. Told you
At
so.
least
And
it's
we'll be
at least
super
it's not
happy
like
this day we told you so.
at least it's not like McLaren where they have to literally build you a new part and then ship it to you like 6 months down the road.
That's just because McLarens are fancy.
Well, McLaren doesn't. McLaren is spending all of its time building the new cars, and
Right.
it doesn't have time to build parts for these cars. So when you say your transmission goes bad and you have to replace it, they have to build you an entirely new transmission at their factory and then
Hmm.
ship it to you because they don't have anything sitting on shelves.
Right.
So
Although it'd be a cool experience to buy one of those cars like the McLarens, or like the Paganis, where they're built basically in a single workshop. They build the entire car,
mm,
and it's each person has their specialty. And like it's really cool how these cars are made. It would
yeah,
be really neat to own something like that.
it would be. It would be. And I've heard that the McLarens are a beautifully riding car. It's just
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
they
definitely.
they have issues, and they have the warranty. You can extend the warranty for a year for $5,000, but I mean $5,000 a year to having a warranty just in case something goes bad, and if nothing goes bad, then you just spent 5 grand for nothing.
Right. Right.
But if it does go bad, then you've just
Then you saved yourself 10 grand.
right. So I mean,
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
shit, man.
I
That's
don't know.
why this Corvette, like, this Corvette's gotta it's either gonna be a huge hit or it's gonna be a huge miss. I don't think there's any middle ground here. I don't think they kind of sort of got it right. I think they either did or they didn't, and it's gonna be interesting to see because it would be nice to be able to afford something in that kind of range that gives you that feel
Well,
of an individual kind of specialty car, like actually something special that you can afford, which is like what I loved about a lot of the older 90s cars when you could get these like the Mustangs had like those supercharged Cobras or whatever, or like you get
mhm,
the Eclipse GSX, or like you had these different cars that were attainable but were insanely fast because back then they didn't have all the regulations we do now, so they didn't have as much
right.
weight to haul around, and they could do a lot with a little. And so
And now
it'll
it's
be interesting to see.
and now it's hard to find a lot of those cars because people hoard them. Back in the day, I mean, back when we were starting to drive, and those cars were only a couple of years old. Yeah, you could pick one of those up, but now everyone's going, man, I want one of those. Man, I want one of those. And it's like the Supra. The old Supra was, you could buy one for 4 grand down the street, but now they're 60, 70, $130,000 cars
Right.
for a '90s Supra.
Yep.
I,
Or
you know,
even like the early 2000 Evos from 2000 to 2006 or so. All those are still going for 15 to 20 grand,
yeah,
even with 100,000 miles on them and shit. And you're like, dude, like, no, I'm not paying that. Like, no, come on, man.
dude, are you okay? Did you hit your head?
Hell yeah, remake the Eagle Talent, dude. I'm telling you, bro, that would be phenomenal. That'd be phenomenal. I'd be the guy to do it. If I could revamp Eagle, I would do it in a heartbeat. I would do it in a heartbeat, dude.
That'd be interesting. That'd be fun. Oh man,
Well, Marty, we're right around our hour mark here. You ready to wrap things up?
we're at 118.
118. That's a
Yeah.
whole lot of me and Marty for you guys. I better see some shares and some likes and some subscriptions and all that kind of stuff.
Some what?
Subscriptions.
Oh, I thought you said subscriptions.
I possibly could have. That's you know.
But
These
yes,
little teas are a lot stronger than they taste. I'm just.
but yes, share it out. Tell your friends. If your friends enjoy vehicles, enjoy talking stuff like that. Hey, if you want to hear us talk about something, if there's something you're excited about and you want us to rant about it with each other, have at it. Tell us what it is, and we'll
Yeah. Leave it in
rant
the
about it.
comments. Wherever you're watching this video, leave it in the comments right now. Like,
Yeah.
whatever it is, you guys are like, hey guys, I was curious about this new car or this piece of car news or regulation or whatever.
Right.
We'll definitely discuss it, and make sure you join us live on Facebook. So if you're following us on YouTube, jump on over to Facebook so you can jump on live and actually get your questions answered. And if you're not following us on YouTube, make sure you follow us on YouTube. We got more content up over there.
Right.
Where you can always catch these videos if you miss them. You know, it's very easy access to jump on YouTube and catch these. So,
Yep. So follow us on there. If you follow us on the Instagram, but either one of us, Riding with Rob, or the All Terrain Outlaws Instagram, there's a lot of stuff that pops up on the Instagram that doesn't end up over here,
right.
And vice versa. So,
right. And make sure you follow both of us, because sometimes I post stuff that doesn't go over to ATO, and ATO posts stuff that doesn't come over to me. So there's always that. So make sure you're subscribed everywheres.
Yes,
for
because
all the things.
If you want to keep in touch with us, just subscribe to that, share it with your friends, let us know what's going on with your guys' stuff. Post up some pictures. Hi. Post up some pictures of what you're working on. Share some share what you're working on. Share some tips and tricks that you've learned along the way. I mean, I'm always learning. I'm always learning a new trick. And it's one of those things where you're working with like your grandpa or something like that, and he shows you. He goes, "Hey, watch this," and you're like, "Holy crap!" He's like, "I used to do this all the time." And nobody knows about it anymore because nobody passed it down because these grumpy old men never shared it with anybody. So if you've got,
you just hold the flashlight.
You don't want to. We don't want some of these old awesome tricks to to die off and nobody remember how to do them. So share them out. Let's do this.
All right, guys. Until next week, Marty.
Yep.
ATL. It was awesome. Make sure you join us everywhere. We'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.